Hey, good day. Welcome to WhinyTechGuy. Today is May 9th. It's episode 9. Can't believe I've done 9 of these silly things already. I guess I'll keep going. I don't know. It's kind of fun to just vent and rant about some things. Kind of working here at home alone for most of the day, and sometimes I need somebody to talk to, so I guess I'll talk to a camera or to myself. Anyway, I just thought it would be fun to do this. I do episodes every Wednesday, talk about things in the tech world. I don't know a lot of depth about a lot of things, but I do read and keep up with the kind of the big news and the overall stuff in the tech world. And sometimes I find things about it that I want to whine about and say something about. So that's what this is. And I decided to call it WhinyTechGuy. Anyway, today what I want to whine about is, I want to read a quote from a Facebook employee. And this came out sometime early when Facebook was starting to hire, and I didn't write down the name of the employee. I don't know that it said, but the quote was interesting anyway. And then I'll whine about it, rant about it a little bit. He said, "All the brightest minds of my generation are thinking about how to make people click ads." And I just kind of chuckled when I read that, because there's a lot of truth to that. You've got Facebook, you've got Google, you've got Yahoo, a bunch of other companies out there, even thousands of companies that are advertising that want you to click on their ads. And there are a lot of bright minds out there trying to figure out how to make money on the internet, online, by getting you and I to see one of the ads that comes up on the page and click on it because we're interested in it, and then go ahead and buy something. And yeah, advertising on the internet I don't know that it's ever not annoying, but I see a reason for it and a need for it. I would like it if there was just some better way to kind of reduce the tidal wave, the tsunami of what comes at you everywhere you go. I don't like that. I've had some people show me, well, if you turn this off and you turn that off, then it won't display the ads. It'll turn Java off, do that and do that. Well, then you bring up a page, and I don't sit and read RSS feeds all day long in a list. I like to go to the websites and see the design and see how they were intended to be viewed. That's just me. I like aesthetically pleasing things. And so, you go to these places, and if I do turn off all the ads, for example, then the page doesn't look right. The design kind of goes away, and it just looks bad. So I don't do that. I tried it for a little while, but I don't do that. But it is kind of a sad statement on our time that you've got a lot of bright minds out there that are doing this, that are trying to get people to do this, instead of trying to make the world better or solve real problems. Trying to get people to click on an ad on the screen is not a real problem, I don't think. I guess the economy needs to move forward, and commerce needs to move forward, and that's kind of a real thing. So I guess you can make that argument, but I don't know. There's got to be something better. I don't like it. And I want those people, I want stupid people to be working on trying to figure out how to get people to click on ads. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of hard because I am an Apple guy and I love everything Apple, but I'm not afraid to say when I have something to complain about that's not perfect. And one of the things that came out this week was this marketing video that somebody put out on the web that's from 1985, 86, 87, something like that. And it was meant for Inside Apple, for a sales conference that they had. I think it was in Hawaii back at the time, and they put a bunch of money into making this thing. And I've seen a few of those in my day at companies I've been at. I think it's a waste of time, but they're trying to rally the troops and get the salespeople all motivated and psyched up so they go out and sell their crap. I guess at Apple it's not selling crap, but anyway, so this video, you've probably already seen it if you haven't. It was based on a kind of a war theme, a war metaphor, taking the beachhead and against the enemy, which is the PCs and Windows, Anyway, it was fairly well done. It was kind of fun to watch it until they showed FDR talking about the war, and the chair turns around in the Oval Office, and it's Steve Jobs made up to look like FDR with the cigarette with the long filter stick that you never see anymore, and it's got the gray hair, and he tries to talk like FDR, and doesn't use a real quote, kind of makes some statement and then says something about it being insanely great, and oh, that was hard to watch. It was embarrassing, and it was anguishing. I wonder if Steve Jobs would do that again if he were still alive and something like that came up. I don't think he would, or at least not in that way. It was pretty bad. Nobody's perfect, I guess, and I guess it's good to see those things come out so we know the truth. We kind of see everything. I wanted to laugh and say that it was funny, but it was just kind of a groaning type groaning. There's a good word. It kind of made me groan. Anyway, I want to talk about that. The last thing I want to talk about today, I just read about this today, and I've been hearing about it, and a lot of people have been writing about about Apple trying to avoid paying taxes on their profits. And I read the New York Times are the one that kind of broke the story and brought it out. And when something comes from the old gray lady like that, you kind of have to. Yeah, there's my phone. I forgot to turn that off so I wouldn't interrupt. But when it comes from the New York Times, you kind of have to at least notice it and say, well, maybe there's something to this. They don't normally print garbage unless it's about liberal stuff, because they're a very, very liberal newspaper, and that's hard to take sometimes. But anyway, they broke the story that Apple tries to avoid paying corporate taxes in a bunch of the states in the United States, and et cetera, et cetera. And Apple, I think, kind of released a statement that, I don't remember if they actually did, but I want to say they did, that said something like, well, we're not breaking the law, we're just doing the best we can to take care of the money that we do by using the existing laws, and if somebody wants to look at that as avoiding paying taxes, I guess maybe they can. I don't think they said that, though, because the article I read today talks about how the New York Times didn't really report the whole truth here, and that is that the tax on profits that Apple pays quarterly is based on a guesstimate, an estimate of what their profits will be now, but it's based off of a year previous's profits for that quarter. And that's what they pay on. Well, Apple, as you may or may not know, in the last few years has had wildly successful quarters in profits, like record numbers. It's like crazy. You can't even almost believe it, how good it is. So you fast forward a year and their profits are going up even more, and it's hard for them to guess exactly where those profits are going to be, and they're usually conservative. So they're paying these quarterly taxes based on last year's profit, so forth and so on, based on the accounting rules and the accepted standards or whatever. And so they're off a little bit because their profits are going up so fast. I don't think that's avoiding paying taxes. Hello, that's trying to take care of the money that you've been given and that you've made, honestly, by selling great products and doing good at your business, and trying to use it wisely and judiciously and following the rules and the laws. And I think that's what they're doing. I guess I could be wrong. If somebody really dug into it, maybe there's some chicanery going on in there where they're moving things around and trying to make things look good or whatever. And every company does that. I don't think that they're breaking any rules. I don't think they do that. Especially not from the top of the corporation deciding that. Maybe some accounting doofus is doing that, but I don't think so, though. I think that they're a responsible corporation, and I hate seeing stuff like this come out and then you find out later, oh well, the truth is they were basing it off of this, and so they weren't avoiding. The estimates were hard to make, and it'll take care of itself next year or as the quarters go along, because they're going to pay what they owe. But then, as of today anyway, the New York Times hasn't come back out and said, oh, well, here's this other information you need to know. So everybody that read the initial sensational articles that were out there are, in their head, they're thinking, oh, okay, there's Apple avoiding taxes. They're just like any other corporation. They're not this great company that's trying to do insanely great things. They're just like everybody else. And that's my stupid dog barking. Sophie! She'll probably keep barking. I hate yelling at her, but I don't know why they bark. Do you know why they bark? I'll rant about that. Why do dogs bark? What are they thinking? Are they trying to talk to somebody? Do they just want to hear themselves? Do they think they're tough? Are they going to scare the fly away that they see landing on the flower outside the window, and that's why they're barking like crazy? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I want somebody to explain it to me. Anyway, that's all I had for today. Now my blood pressure's up like 30%. Anyway, I will see you again next week. Again, today's episode 9, May 9th, 2012. I do this every Wednesday. Hopefully I'll get better at it. Sorry if I bored you. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.